The food I cook could make me sick? How do I prevent that from happening? Are you cooking? Let's talk about it. Welcome to Are You Cooking on Reach Up TV. Today we are talking about some important information that may not be as glamorous as cooking a fancy meal, but it's essential to know. We are talking about food safety. So today we're going to talk about how we handle our food, how we cook it, and how we store it, and how important it is to preserve the quality of our food to prevent food illness. You can't smell, touch, or taste harmful bacteria in your kitchen. And so it's important that every step of your food preparation that we follow the 4 guidelines for food safety. The first is clean, the second is separate, the third is cook, and the fourth is chill. Let's go over that first one. The first guideline is clean. You want to make sure that you wash your hands and clean down all of the surfaces before you start cooking. Everything we touch can be transferred from one food to another, from one item to the other, spreading bacteria all over your kitchen. So the good rule of thumb is to wash your hands with warm soapy water for 20 seconds. And generally, a fun way to remember that, I was always told to sing happy birthday while you wash your hands. That's about 20 seconds. If you touch something in the middle of your prepping food, for example, if you answer your phone or pet your dog or change a diaper, or touch your face, maybe blow your nose or cough, you should make sure that you're washing your hands before you come back to your food prep. And so it's important that also handling uncooked eggs, poultry, seafood, or meats that you wash your hands in between as well. Check your hands for any cuts or open wounds. Disposable gloves would be good for that, or make sure you have a Band-Aid. You want to wipe down all the surfaces once your cooking is done that you've come in contact with. Your refrigerator handles, microwave, your oven. You can use warm soapy water, you can use sanitizing wipes, you can use all-purpose spray, or you can even put a few drops of bleach in a spray bottle with water and keep that handy to wipe down your surfaces. All right, our second guideline is separate. We want to make sure that we are separating everything that comes in contact with meat and vegetables, or our towels, dirty towels, with our food. So we don't want to cross-contaminate. And what that means is we unintentionally transfer bacteria from one item to another. And this can happen very quickly. One of the things that can happen with is dish towels. Dish towels and sponges have been found to hold the most bacteria in your kitchen. When you have a dirty dish towel and you're cooking and you wipe your hands with it, you are then transferring bacteria. Also, if you're touching eggs, fish, poultry, or meat with bare hands and then touch your vegetables with it, you're also transferring bacteria. So you want to make sure you keep your hands off your surfaces. Once your hands are in that food, wash with soapy water for 20 seconds to make sure that you're not transferring any bacteria. All right, the same holds true with your knives. If I cut my meat with a knife, I don't go right to my vegetables and use the same knife that I used on the raw meat. I'll either use 2 separate knives for the tasks, or I'll wash it with warm soapy water before I go on to cutting the vegetables. For those of you that love sponges, oh my goodness, it is not recommended that you use sponges in the kitchen. It actually grows bacteria in this unless you use good sanitation skills. A damp sponge in the microwave for 30 seconds is great. Soaking it in some water with a few drops of bleach or putting it in the dishwasher will ensure that you can continue using your sponge. Also, cutting boards, you shouldn't use the same cutting board for meat and vegetables, or just make sure that you wash it with that warm soapy water. Another good idea is you can actually use paper plates, but again, same rule applies. Make sure that you use separate plates to do your cutting. All right, the next guideline is cook. We have to make sure that we properly cook our food in order for it to be safe. Check with a food thermometer for your meats. If you don't have one, a good rule of thumb is chicken is cooked through when there's no pink, pork is cooked through when there's a light pink, and red meat can be anything from light pink all the way to well done, but they should be cooked through just to be safe if you don't have a food thermometer. All right, our last guideline is chill, which means we have to make sure our cooked food is refrigerated within 2 hours of cooking. Any longer, it sits on the counter and can grow bacteria. So if you have a lot of warm food, you want to pour it into a low, shallow dish. So if I'm cooking soup and it's still warm almost 2 hours in, I can pour it into a lasagna pan. And it can cool down quicker. I can wrap it and put it in the refrigerator. You want to make sure that you don't put big pots of hot food in the refrigerator. It'll actually bring the temperature of your refrigerator up, causing it to be above 40 degrees and spoiling your milk and eggs. All right. You also want to make sure that you're keeping your food chilled when you go ahead and go grocery shopping. So use food safety when you're food shopping. Go ahead and pick up your refrigerated and frozen items after you get all your other items. Don't choose meat and poultry that have ripped packages or leaking juice, and make sure nothing is out of date. All right, now you have the 4 guidelines to follow for food safety. Can't wait to see you next time. Thank you for joining us. Are you cooking? Let's do this.